Hey there folks, I'm Patrick Stewart. Welcome back to my channel. Super Star Wars fan and super stoked that we're finally getting my best friend, John, after 25 years of friendship, to watch Star Wars for the first time in his life.
Star Wars.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button for future content on this series of videos we're going to be doing. Hit that like button if you enjoy what John and I are doing on this Star Wars journey. We definitely want to document the entire journey, watch all the Star Wars films. In our last video, we pretty much asked our viewers, asked you, if you could help us decide what order to watch the films in. Now, I'm very pleased to say we got a lot of awesome responses from you, the viewers. I'll go through some of those now, but basically, thank goodness, nobody at any point suggested we watch these in chronological order. Now, admittedly, George Lucas stated that chronological order basically tells the story of the rise, fall, and redemption of Anakin Skywalker. Then you have Rod Hilton, who invented the machete order, in which instead of focusing on Anakin's story, we focus more on Luke Skywalker's story. Something to be said for that value in that order of movies. However, he completely omits and deletes Phantom Menace from that timeline. Hate it or love it, we will be watching Phantom Menace at some point. Definitely won't be starting with it, but we will be watching that. I mean, come on. One of the greatest villains, Darth Maul, of all time, aside from Darth Vader, of course. Have to give a nod to Phantom Menace. Now, let's go through some of these comments from the fans. Do it in the same way in which the films were released. This is from Vampire, the Immortal God. He says, if you do it chronologically, it will spoil a lot of stuff for him. I agree with that. Marianne says, I vote for Rogue One, and then episodes 4 through 6, and then the prequels. Eddie says, start with where it all began in 1977. Now, here's an interesting one. Nikki Foster chimes in, also agreeing that we should start with Rogue One, but then jump into a nod toward the machete order. 4-5, the prequels, then 6 through 9. So let's very briefly talk about the 3 ways we can watch these. Of course, there is the chronological order.
That's the last thing you should do.
That's probably the worst way to go. Second way, the order of release. There's something to be said for that, starting with George Lucas's vision in 1977 and watching the production values raise with each Star Wars movie from then on. Then we get to the prequels, even higher production. We get to the newer movies, even better production. So ultimately, John could grow with the films, both in storytelling value and production value. Then, of course, there's the famed machete order created by Rod Hilton. That one gives us the benefit of jumping around for some cinematic tension and waiting for resolution of certain story arcs that we won't spoil in this video just in case John is tuning in, which he probably is. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I'm not doing any of those. We're not doing chronological, we're not doing release date, and we're not doing machete order. I'm going to throw a complete curveball here, and what we're going to start with is none other than Rogue One.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
I know. Bear with me. I have a very good reason for this. Because it makes sense.
I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
Okay, beyond it making sense. My favorite Star Wars film of all time, bar none, and I know hardcore Star Wars fans are probably going to hate me for this one. It is not Empire Strikes Back. My favorite film is Return of the Jedi. Despite the fact that Return of the Jedi remains to this day my favorite Star Wars film, I honestly believe that Rogue One is the best produced, overall best story, wonderful character arcs. It's just a great movie.
Star Wars geek.
And it may sound blasphemous, but objectively speaking, I believe it's perhaps the best Star Wars movie to date. Now, 2 reasons I want to start with Rogue One. The first one's a bit obvious. Better production value. It can stand alone. It's not heavy in Jedi. It's not heavy in lightsabers. It's just a good story that I think John can buy into, because I want him to buy into the universe that is Star Wars. If I can get John to buy into the universe, I think we can win him over. Now, the other reason is that Rogue One, let's call it essentially episode 3.99, it literally butts up right into episode 4, Star Wars A New Hope. You could essentially call them one long movie. Now, I do run the risk of starting him with some high production value and then losing him with a 1977 film. Then we may do what Erin Whitman suggests. Agreeing with me that Rogue One is a risk, she says, but maybe understanding the universe going in, John will be willing to give some grace to the original trilogy. Try to get him hooked on the magic of the original three, the actors, the characters, the places, the planets, and even what we now perceive today as the lack of production value. That's literally the magic that is Star Wars. It's really going to be a fun experiment to see if we can get my best friend John, an adult in the year 2020, to love the 70s and 80s originals as much as we do. Admittedly, it's a challenge, but I think we can pull it off. Only history will tell. Starting with Rogue One is the way to do it. Now, I have also one more ulterior motive for starting with Rogue One. The portrayal of Darth Vader. Now, Darth has only got a very minor bit of scenes in Rogue One. Heck, he didn't have that much screen time in Star Wars A New Hope, but he's still the most iconic character and villain of all time. But there's a famous scene with Obi-Wan when he's talking to Luke in Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope.
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil. He betrayed and murdered your father.
Yes, that scene. I want John to have a picture of Darth Vader that is much more menacing and sinister, just like Obi-Wan described, than the picture we get like this. So there it is, folks. Starting with Rogue One, we'll be watching it together this Saturday. I'll be filming his reaction, and I promise I will edit this thing as quickly as I can so that I can get it out to you, the viewers, so that we can see John's reaction to the first Star Wars film that he ever sees. I'm so excited about this. Please don't forget to hit that like button and hit notifications if you want to know when that video drops. We'll do everything we can to get these produced quickly. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've really enjoyed talking to y'all. Next time we get together, you'll be seeing my friend John sitting on the couch over here, watching some Star Wars with me. Catch you on the next video, and let's get all nerdy with it.